Morning, everyone. Maxime Bernier Twitter roundup. And here we go. Maxime Bernier is tweeting, quote, "Wondering why I wasn't invited to yesterday's Maclean's debate? A contributing editor to Maclean's and debate commentator at Andre Domas flipped off PPC supporters, called them Nazis, and wished them to die in car accidents." And there's Andre's tweet right below that. I'm not going to read it again because, well, it's violent and I don't like violence. And I think that it's interesting that the left continually says that they make comparisons and call People's Party supporters Nazis, and yet they appear to be the ones who are aggressive and going out of their way to be aggressive with, putting up middle fingers and swearing at people and wishing death and violence on people. That seems really weird to me. Like, it just seems really strange to take the moral high road while simultaneously silencing people and attacking people and verbally assaulting people and wishing them harm. That's really strange to me. All that I think is that everybody should have an equal platform. And if a bad idea is shared, then a bad idea is shared. And everybody goes, "That's a bad idea." And the person who goes, "Oh, is it? Okay," and moves on. Right? Like, am I just crazy? Maxime Bernier is tweeting further. "Anyone can spot the difference between Scheer and Trudeau on spending and deficits. Scheer will keep the level of spending set by the Liberals. He won't cut programs. He will keep increasing transfers, but he promises deficits longer, 5 years, than Trudeau did in 2015, 4 years. Remember, Trudeau said in 2015, 3 years of small deficits, $10 billion deficits to build Canada, and then back to balance in 2019. And Trudeau spent and spent and spent some more, and he didn't spend most of it in Canada. He spent it outside of Canada. And then just before the election, whole bunch of spending promises. I remember this tap dance. Yeah. Yep, I do. From 2015. It fooled me that time. Not again. Fool me once. Shame on me. Fool me twice. Shame on me. Okay, here's Bernier saying PPC will eliminate the deficit. Sorry, this is a thread. Number 2, PPC will eliminate the deficit in 2 years with cuts to foreign aid, corporate welfare, and other subsidies, CBC infrastructure and housing spending in provincial areas, and by developing surplus revenues to deficit reduction instead of spending, as Liberals have done. Carrying on. Bernier continues, and this is on September 12th. "Pathetic. 2 years after leaving provincial politics to become leader of a federal party, the Jagmeet Singh still doesn't know that healthcare is a provincial jurisdiction. The People's Party of Canada will respect our constitution and provincial autonomy." And this is in response to an article where Mr. Jagmeet Singh pledges to build a hospital, even though the federal government can't do that. Nope. No, they can't. Mr. Bernier is tweeting, quote, "Time for candidates to submit their nomination papers. If you are a People's Party supporter, please volunteer to help your candidate get his or her signatures." Yes, well, that would be great. I'm submitting my signatures on Monday, so that's kind of cool, 1 o'clock. And Mr. Bernier submitted his, and there's a fancy picture. Maybe I'll tweet out my picture too. I don't have glasses though, so. And look at that hair. I can't quite pull off the hair because I don't have that much hair. All right, Bernier is tweeting, quote, "1. Reading the news, you might think the vast majority of Canadians support multiculturalism. That's not at all the case, as this piece by @John Ibison reminds us this morning. There is a wide difference of opinion between Canadians and their political and media elites." And this is John Ibison. It says, from me in the impact of Bill 21 on the federal election, the Globe and Mail." And this is talking about, well, there's a number 2 here. This is a tweet thread, so I'll continue. 2, in reality, according to surveys by University of Toronto political scientists, about 1/3 of Canadians support multiculturalism, 1/3 oppose it, and another third approve of it, but only as long as immigrants integrate fully into Canadian society. Here's the screenshot. It says Aaron Tolley, a political scientist at the University of Toronto, points to research she and co-author Randy Besco conducted that shows about 1/3 of Canadians oppose multiculturalism, 1/3 support it, and 1/3 are, quote, conditional multiculturalists who, as they wrote, quote, approve of immigration and ethnic diversity, but only under certain conditions, the most important being that the immigrants integrate fully into Canadian society. Okay, 3, so potentially 2/3 of Canadians support the People's Party of Canada position, which is to abolish official multiculturalism and focus on the integration of immigrants. Why then is it systemically portrayed as a fringe position in the media? Remember, we are the majority. 4, read the People's Party of Canada platform on multiculturalism. And there's that link to that. And honestly, there have been times where I've spoken to people at the doors and they've said to me, I like a lot of the fiscal policies, but I can't support the immigrant stuff. And I said, okay, let me put it to you this way. If you invited a bunch of people to your house and then you ran out of food and hot water, and then You put tents out back and started putting people in tents, and still people were coming and sleeping on the ground outside. Is that responsibly using your house to help your friends, or are you making things worse off? And the person agreed with me. And I said, what the People's Party is trying to do, and this is just to let you know what I said at the door, is trying to have a sustainable immigration system with between 100 and 150,000 immigrants per year, prioritized by immigrants who have jobs and connections in the community. So, and the jobs and connections in community, both, right? Like the jobs create connections in community, not just connections in the community. We'll worry about the job later. Jobs and connections in the community. Okay. And so it's interesting to me that that the People's Party, is labeled that way, is labeled racist. And it's continuing through in the press and stuff. And it's misrepresented. I really feel people are being done a disservice by the misrepresentation of this in the press. It's terrible. Here's Laurie Goldstein. I'm going to go with that from now on. And he says, quote, Trudeau's immigration policies alarm many Canadians. My Sunday Toronto Sun column, Toronto Sun, there's the link, quote, what polls collectively show is that Canadians have serious concerns about Trudeau's immigration and refugee policies. Yeah, really. Here's Mr. Bernier again. Haters know they have no rational argument against us. That's why they're becoming more hysterical every day. Our candidates are from every background, not because we have quotas, but because PPC principles appeal to everyone. This is our candidate in Waterloo. And this is Erica Traub. I'm sorry, Erica, if I've got that wrong. Quote, I'm an immigrant single mother. English is my third language. I've devoted my professional career and spare time to helping the most vulnerable people. The PPC 2019 platform is justice, equality, peace, tolerance. Maxime Bernier is We the North, strong and free. Hashtag let Max speak. So that's true. And anybody who watches this show knows my background as well. I'm a first generation Canadian and a candidate. So my parents are both immigrants. So it's insane. It's insane what's going on in our country. Really. Here's Mr. Bernier again. He says, happy anniversary at People's Party of Canada. 1 year ago, there were just a handful of us with a big dream. Today, we are one of Canada's main political parties with 41,000 members and candidates everywhere. Thank you for making this possible. And there's a picture of everybody, or some of everybody. That's certainly not all of us. And I'm in there too. See if you can spot me. I'm looking up. Here's Mr. Bernier. He says, watch our rally earlier this week in London with speeches on the People's Party program and multiculturalism in particular by our candidate Salim Mansour and his campaign manager R.B. Vaughan and myself. Here's the link. I'm not going to comment on that. I haven't watched it yet. I've heard it's a really good interview or an exchange. I haven't got there yet. I'm up to my nose in work today, and every day. But that's fun. We're having a good time. Here's Mr. Bernier, another tweet thread. He says, 1, reading the news. Oh, I've already done this one. I apologize. Skip that. Gone. Here's the last tweet thread. This was possibly what I meant to click. 1, the longer road to balance, parties in no rush to eliminate budgetary deficits, except the People's Party, of course. As is the case on so many issues, all the other parties offer the same, and we are different. 2, and this is, 2, The economy's strong performance, increasing tax revenues, and reducing demands on government programs means any party determined to achieve balance within a 4-year term could conceivably pull it off. However, none of the old guard parties is in a rush to eliminate the deficit. 3, the only party laying out a speedy path to balance books is the PPC. Bernier argues he would get Canada back into the black in 2 years by eliminating billions worth of government spending in areas like foreign development and corporate welfare. 4, it's unfair to the future generations, Bernier says when asked about the need to balance in 2 years. It won't be so difficult. It's a strong commitment. So it's interesting, again. Well, I'm glad that the National Post is reporting on this, but it's always on the defense. And, well, I suppose that's what you're doing when you're defending your political ideas. And that brings us to the end of my Maxime Bernier Twitter roundup. Sorry about the duplicate link there just before the end. Sometimes these things happen. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to vote. Voting day is October 21st. And have a wonderful, wonderful